Welcome to Millennium Daily News. This is Ifat Fatima with top stories. Trump names new Attorney General and CIA Director. Nikki Haley being considered for U.S. Secretary of State. Donald Trump to deport up to 3 million immigrants. Will take only $1 salary as president. Trump. Putin, Trump speak by phone, agreed to improve ties. Kremlin. Syria war, Aleppo pounded by airstrikes as pause ends. Prime Minister urges global leaders to fight climate change together. Bangladesh joins international solar alliances. And Chirang back in winning streak, crashing Rangpur. Those were the headlines, now the details. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has tapped 3 senior leaders of his national security and law enforcement teams, choosing Senator Jeff Sessions for Attorney General, Representative Mike Pompeo as CIA Director, and General Mike Flynn as National Security Advisor, a transition official said. The transition official, speaking on condition of anonymity, said the announcements would be made formally. All 3 men have accepted Trump's offer, the official said. In choosing Sessions as the nation's chief law enforcement officer, Trump would award a loyalist whose hardline and at times inflammatory statements on immigration were similar to his own. Sessions opposes any path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants and was an enthusiastic back of Trump's promise to build a wall on the border with Mexico. Indian-American Nikki Haley will meet U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. The presidential transition team has said and reports that the 2-team governor of South Carolina is being considered for a cabinet position, particularly for the high-profile post of Secretary of State. In a conference call with reporters last night, the transition team's spokesman Sean Spicer listed 44-year-old Nikki Haley as one of the candidates Donald Trump would be meeting. Mr. Trump will also be meeting former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, General Retired Jack Keane, Admiral Mike Rogers, and Ken Blackwell. While some of these meetings are about potential cabinet members, others are about sharing ideas and advice. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said he planned to immediately deport or jail as many as 3 million undocumented immigrants as he set out the priorities in the first television interview since his election. The interview with CBC's 60 Minutes was broadcast with millions tuning in for clues on how the billionaire businessman turned politician will govern the country. Since election triumph, Trump had appeared to tone down his rhetoric, notably suggesting they might be willing to reconsider a pledge to scrap President Barack Obama's signature health reform, the so-called Obamacare. He made clear, though in excerpts of Sunday's interview, that he will intend to crack down on undocumented immigrants in the country, focusing on people with criminal records. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said that he will reject the presidential annual salary of $400,000 and will take only the minimum required $1 a year. Trump announced his decision in an interview for the CBS 60 Minutes TV program, his first television appearance after winning the November 8 election. I think I have to take by law $1, so I will take $1 a year, Trump said during the interview. He further admitted that he did not know what the salary was, and when told the salary was $400,000, Trump declined it, EF News reported. I'm not taking it, said Trump, who amassed much of his fortune with television shows, hotels, casinos, and real estate businesses. Trump also defended his controversial decision to refuse releasing any of his tax returns during the election campaign and said he will release his tax returns at the appropriate time. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump spoke on the phone and agreed on the need to normalize ties between Washington and Moscow, the Kremlin said. The Kremlin also said that the two politicians agreed to make provisions for a personal meeting. The presidential transition team in Washington said in a statement that it was Putin who called Trump to offer his congratulations on winning a historic election. The Kremlin said that Putin and Trump noted the extremely unsatisfactory state of Russian-US relations at present and declared the need for active joint work to normalize them. Putin wished Trump success in carrying out his campaign promises, the Kremlin said, and expressed his readiness to create a dialogue of partnership with the new administration on the basis of equality, mutual respect, and non-intervention in each other's domestic affairs. They agreed on the need to unite efforts in the struggle with the enemy number one, international terrorism and extremism, the Kremlin said, adding that in his context they discussed issues over resolving the crisis in Syria. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said that he wants to build a relationship of trust when he meets US President-elect Donald Trump, stressing that the two-way alliance is the core of Tokyo's diplomacy and security. Abe said to meet Trump in New York is expected to be the first foreign leader to do so since the U.S. billionaire real estate magnate's election on November 8. The U.S.-Japan alliance is the cornerstone of Japan's diplomacy and security. Only when there is trust does an alliance come alive, Abe told reporters before leaving Tokyo, Kyodo News Agency reported. Trump had fanned worries in Tokyo and beyond with his comments on the possibility of Japan acquiring nuclear arms and demands that allies pay more for the upkeep. Trump had fanned worries in Tokyo and beyond with his comments on the possibility of Japan acquiring nuclear arms and demands that allies pay more for the upkeep of U.S. forces on their soil or face the possibility of their withdrawal. Hillary Clinton urged supporters not to give up in her first public appearance since she suffered a shocking defeat in the November 8 presidential election. The former Secretary of State said appearing in public was not the easiest thing for her, NBC News reported. There have been a few times this past week when all I wanted to do is just to curl up with a good book or our dogs and never leave the house again, Clinton said. Nevertheless, the former presidential nominee attempted to inspire her audience and emphasized a line of Martin Luther King Jr. that is often quoted by President Barack Obama. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. The divisions laid bare by this election run deep, but please listen to me when I say this. America is worth it. Our children are worth it. Believe in our country, fight for our values, and never ever give up, she added. A mayor from West Virginia has resigned amid a furor over a racial Facebook post that described First Lady Michelle Obama as an ape in heels, U.S. media said. Beverly Whaling, the mayor of the tiny town of Clay, had appeared to applaud the incendiary comment, had stepped down amid the ensuing firestorm, according to a town official, Joe Cloman. Clay County Development Corporation Director Pamela Ramsey had reportedly posted after Donald Trump's election, "It will be refreshing to have a classy, beautiful, dignified First Lady in the White House. I'm tired of seeing an ape in heels." Mayor Whaling responded, "Just made my day, Pam." The comments were later deleted and both women's Facebook pages were eventually taken offline, the Washington Post reported, citing local media. Ramsey was also reportedly fired. Police have battled with anarchists late into the night following two marches protesting against U.S. President Barack Obama's visit. Greek police estimated as many as 150 anarchists were involved in the clashes. They responded to rocks and Molotov cocktails with tear gas and stun grenades. A march by PAMA, the Communist Party Labor Union, ended peacefully. A second march pushed up against a police cordon and protesters threw two Molotov cocktails. An Athens police spokesman told that's when the clashes began. By late at night, police had confined the violence to the area of the Athens Polytechnic, a campus anarchists have used in the past as a safe haven from police, who are not allowed onto university grounds without a request from the chancellor. Police say there were no injuries or damage to private property. Greece hopes Obama visit will aid economic recovery. Some 8,000 protesters walked through central avenues chanting slogans against the European Union, NATO and the International Monetary Fund, a staple of left-wing marches. An election that won Donald Trump the White House and gave Republicans control of Congress was an unlikely moment for the United States to also get its first Somali-American legislator in the form of headscarf-wearing Ilhan Omar. Omar, a 34-year-old refugee from Somalia's bullet-ridden capital, Mogadishu, won a seat in Minnesota's House of Representatives of November 8 as a self-styled progressive who would stick up for fellow Muslims and work for fairer pay and better schools in Minneapolis. To her supporters, she is charismatic ambassador for Somalis and Muslims and a silver lining in an election that elevated the Republican candidate Trump, who campaigned against the threat of terrorism from Muslim refugees like Omar. Intense airstrikes have hit several rebel-held areas in Aleppo for the first time in more than 2 weeks, signaling the start of a major government offensive in Syria's northern city. The ferocious bombardment of eastern Aleppo came as Russian armed forces also announced the launch of a large-scale operation against opposition targets in Syria. Syrian state television said government jets carried out attacks against what is called terrorist strongholds and supply depots in the old city of Aleppo, citing what is described as spatial sources. The airstrikes killed at least 10 people in Aleppo city, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights and other groups. Australian, Canadian and US warships are heading to the New Zealand town of Kaikoura to help with evacuations after a series of powerful earthquakes. 2 people were killed when 2 simultaneous quakes hit near Christchurch, followed by thousands of aftershocks. Thousands were cut off in Kaikoura after roads and infrastructure were badly damaged. Many were tourists visiting the popular whale-watching destination. Helicopters began airlifting people from Kaikoura after landslides cut off road and rail links. Power and water supplies have also been disrupted. New Zealand's HMNZS Canterbury is already in operation off the coast and will be joined later by Canada's HMC Vancouver, Australia's HMAS Darwin and the US destroyer USS Samson. Russia's investigative committee said that it had detained Economy Minister Alex Alvikev on suspicion of taking a $2 million bribe over a massive deal involving state-controlled oil giant Rosneft. The investigative committee said in a statement that the detention was carried out as a result of an operation by the FSB Security Service, the successor of the KGB. It claimed the minister received the money for giving the go-ahead for Rosneft to acquire a majority stake from the state in Russian oil company Bashneft in a $5.2 million deal last month. The investigative committee said in a statement that Al-Yukayev had been detained as part of a probe into large-scale bribe-taking for which he could face a jail term of between 8 and 15 years. Viewers, now the Bangladesh topic. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urged global leaders to fight together the perilous threats of climate change and share the burdens equally for fulfilling the promises to make the world a safer place for the future generation. Let's join hands to consolidate our partnership to fight the perilous threats of climate change, share the burdens equally to fulfill our promises of making the world a safer and better place for our future generation, she said. The Prime Minister came up with the remarks while speaking at the high-level segment of the 22nd session of the Conference of the Parties, COP22, at Marrakech, a former imperial city in western Morocco. Sheikh Hasina also placed 2 crucial issues, water security and climate-induced migrants, at the meeting to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. The Prime Minister said she, as a member of the UN High-Level Panel of Water, reiterated government's commitments to the action plan endorsed by the members of the High-Level Panel on Water in Newark in September last. We must ensure safe drinking water and sanitation for all through effective water governance. Viewers, now a short break. We will be back with the headlines. Hundreds of Rohingya flee Myanmar army crackdown to Bangladesh. Bangladesh ICT division receives ASOCIO award. Rampal power plant not to harm Sundarban, insist officials. Bangladesh Bank hopes to recover $30 million more from cyber heist. Humans won't live on Earth in 1,000 years. Hawking. Over 412 million adult website credentials hacked, security firm.
ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট
একটি স্বপ্নের ঠিকানা, একটি সুন্দর আবাসস্থল। ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট আপনার স্বপ্নের বাস্তব রূপ দেয়।
নতুন ডুপ্লেক্স, অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট, কমার্শিয়াল বিল্ডিং নির্মাণের জন্য নির্ভরযোগ্য একটি প্রতিষ্ঠান
ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট।
অত্যাধুনিক ডিজাইন, সর্বশেষ প্রযুক্তির সমন্বয়ে আমাদের কর্মতৎপরতা কনক্রিট, সিমেন্ট আর ইস্পাতের মজবুত বন্ধনে
গড়ে উঠুক আপনার বাড়ি। রোদ বৃষ্টি সহ সকল বৈরিতার বিরুদ্ধে করি সঠিক ট্রিটমেন্ট।
আপনার শহরের প্রাইম লোকেশনে রয়েছে আমাদের অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট।
আপনার কষ্টার্জিত টাকা এবং আমাদের নির্ভেজাল শ্রমে নির্মিত হোক আপনার স্বপ্নের বাড়িটি। আপনার জীবন হোক সুন্দর এবং আনন্দময়।
আমাদের ঠিকানা ফ্রেন্ডস ডেভেলপমেন্ট, 211 ইস্ট 43 স্ট্রিট, সুইট বি, 507, নিউ ইয়র্ক, NY 10017, ফোন 718-893020।
ইমেল friendsdevelopment@optimum.net। নিশা ট্রেডিং একটি আন্তর্জাতিক মানের গার্মেন্টস প্রোডাক্ট আমদানি ও রপ্তানিকারক প্রতিষ্ঠান। ইউরোপ, এশিয়া ও আমেরিকা সহ বিশ্বের নানা স্থানে বাইং, মার্চেন্টাইজিং এবং ম্যানুফ্যাকচারিং করে থাকে। সর্বাধুনিক প্রযুক্তিতে তৈরি বিভিন্ন ডিজাইনের পোশাক বাজারজাতকরণ এবং বিপণন এই প্রতিষ্ঠানের লক্ষ্য। প্রতিষ্ঠানের বৈশিষ্ট্য: উন্নত মান নিশ্চিতকরণ, টেকসই পণ্যের নিশ্চয়তা, নির্ধারিত সময়ে পণ্য সরবরাহ, লেনদেনের স্বচ্ছতা ও বিশ্বস্ততা। যোগাযোগের ঠিকানা USA কর্পোরেট অফিস, 1747 থার্ড স্ট্রিট সুইট 215, জ্যাকসন হাইট, নিউ ইয়র্ক, NY 11372। বাংলাদেশ কর্পোরেট অফিস, বাড়ি নং 145, সপ্তম তলা, রোড নম্বর 12, ব্লক জি, দক্ষিণ বনশ্রী, খিলগাঁও, ঢাকা 1219।
Viewers, welcome back to Millennium Daily News. Hundreds of Rohingya Muslims are fleeing a military crackdown in western Myanmar to Bangladesh, trying to escape an upsurge of violence that has brought the total number of dead confirmed by the army to more than 130. Some of the Rohingya were gunned down as they tried to cross the Naf River that separates Myanmar and Bangladesh, while others arriving by boat were pushed away by Bangladeshi border guards and may be stranded at sea, residents said. The bloodshed is the most serious since hundreds were killed in communal clashes in the western Myanmar state of Rakhine in 2012. It has exposed the lack of oversight of the military by the 7-month-old administration of Nobel Peace Prize winner Aung San Suu Kyi. Soldiers have poured into the area along Myanmar's frontier with Bangladesh, responding to coordinated attacks on 3 border posts on October 9 that killed 9 police officers. Information and Communication Technology ICT division of Bangladesh has received the Digital Government Award 2016 of Oceanian Computing Industry Organization. ASOCIO President Bernard Saraganda handed over the award to State Minister for ICT Division Zunaid Ahmed Palak in Yangon of Myanmar, said a PID handout. Bangladesh formally joined the International Solar Alliance through signing up the Framework Agreement on ISA. Deputy Minister for Environmental and Forest Abdullah Al-Islam Jacob signed the agreement on behalf of the government in a ceremonial program held during the Conference of Parties 22 COP22 in Mekara, Morocco. Signing of the ISA framework agreement has reiterated the firm commitment of the government towards further promoting renewable energy, more particularly solar energy, said a statement of the Foreign Ministry received in Dhaka. This also reflects the visionary leadership and strong determination of Prime Minister in tackling adversities of climate change and its resultant impacts, it added. Joining the ISA will widen the opportunities for Bangladesh to collaborate with other members of this alliance in the areas of solar technology, finance, research, innovation and development, as well as capacity building. Claiming that ultra supercritical technologies will be used in the proposed coal-based Rampal power plant, officials alleged that a quarter is spreading false and misleading information about the power project. So-called environmental activists are raising questions about the project in the similar tone and tune of a UNESCO report they told a view exchange meeting with journalists arranged by Bangladesh India Friendship Power Company at Bagarhat Press Club. The project officials said the Rampal power plant will not harm the Sundarban as any possible pollution will significantly be minimized by using ultra supercritical technologies. There will be no river water pollution and aquatic animals will not face any trouble since no waste will be released into rivers from the plant, they claimed. The officials said coal-induced fly ash generated from the plant will be processed to check air pollution and coal will be carried on river routes by well-covered ships aiming to check water pollution. Viewers, now the business news. US technological giant Google confirmed it will expand its vast campus in central London. A move, source said, is expected to bring 3,000 jobs to the British capital. Google announced it would add a new office building to a complex currently under development behind London's King's Cross train station, which the technological firm said would be its first wholly owned and designed building outside the United States. Here in the UK, it's clear to me that computer science has a great future with the talent, educational institutes and passion for innovation we see all around us, Google CEO Sundar Pichai said in a statement. The Bangladesh government gave a certificate of proprietorship to Bangladesh Small and Cottage Industries Corporation BSCIC, recognizing Jamdani as a registered geographical indication GI product. Industries Minister Amir Hossain Amu, on behalf of Department of Patents, Designs and Trademarks DPDT under his ministry, handed over the certificate to the Bangladesh Small and Cottage Industries Corporation BSCIC. The GI registration is a crucial step in branding the Jamdani sari in the international market. The GI registration will ensure that weavers apply to the DPDT to become registered users. After that, they can use the GI logo while marketing Jamdanis. Bangladesh's first mobile phone operator, Citycell, which appeared as defaulter, deposited another Taka 100 crore to the Bangladesh Telecommunication Regulatory Commission (BTRC) in line with the directives of the Appeal Division AD of the Supreme Court. Talking to BSS, BTRC Chairman Acting Ahsan Habib Khan said the operator deposited the money Taka 100 crore to BTRC Exchange Courier this afternoon. The remaining dues of Citycell would be fixed by a committee which was formed by the AD for a solution. Earlier on October 21, the regulator withdrew the spectrum of Citycell for not paying outstanding Taka 477.51 crore, although the BRTC asked the operator repeatedly to make the payment. Later, BTRC unlocked the airwave after 17 days following court order upon paying the money. A four-member bench of the AD, led by Chief Justice S.K. Sinha, also asked the BTRC to suspend the spectrum city cell if the telecom operator fails to pay the dues within November 19. The first ever merger of two mobile phone operators Robi and Airtel in Bangladesh has come into effect following the commercial operation of Robi as the merged company. Now, the merged company will be known as Robi Axiata Limited, while Airtel will remain as an independent product brand of Robi, said a media statement of Robi. Axiata now holds 68.7% controlling stake in the combined entity, while Bharti holds 25%. The remaining 6.3% will be held by the existing shareholder, entity DOCOMO of Japan. The combined entity will operate under the brand name of Robi Axiata Limited and will serve approximately 32.2 million subscribers. The government has decided to improve standard of local jute mills for introducing viscose, the main raw material of cotton, with technical support of China. China will provide technical support to improve standard of local jute mills, and we have signed a minutes of discussion to this end. State Minister for Textile and Jute Mirza Azam said this while witnessing the signing ceremony in a Dhaka hotel. He said the minutes of discussion was signed between Bangladesh Jute Mills Corporation (BGMC) and China Textile Industrial Corporation for Foreign Economic and Technical Cooperation. Chinese Vice Minister and former Presidential of China National Textile and Apparel Council Wang Tianka and Chairman of Bangladesh Investment Development Authority Qazi M. Aminul Islam were present at the signing ceremony. Bangladesh Central Bank hopes to retrieve $30 million more of the $81 million stolen from its account at the New York Federal Reserve in February, two bank officials said. Hackers used stolen Bangladesh bank credentials to try to send 3 dozen SWIFT messages to transfer nearly $1 billion from its Fed account. They succeeded in transferring $81 million to four accounts at Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation in Manila. Most of the money was laundered through casinos in Manila. Philippine authorities began the process of handing over $15.25 million to Bangladesh. We are hoping to get back around $30 million, which remains frozen. Bangladesh Bank Deputy Governor Abu Hana Mohammad Razi Hassan, who heads its financial intelligence unit, told Reuters. Viewers, now the science and technology news. Humanity will not survive another 1,000 years on Earth unless the human race finds another planet to live on. One of the world's best-known physicists, Stephen Hawking, was warned. I don't think we will survive another 1,000 years without escaping beyond our fragile planet, the celebrated theoretical physicist and cosmologist said. He painted a grave picture of the future while delivering a lecture on the universe and the origins of human begins at the Oxford Union Debating Society. Professor Hawking, 74, reflected on the understanding of the universe garnered from breakthroughs over the past 5 decades, describing 2016 as a glorious time to be alive and doing research into theoretical physics. Our picture of the universe has changed a great deal in the last 50 years, and I am happy if I have made a small contribution, he was quoted as saying by The Independent. Perhaps one day we will be able to use gravitational waves to look right back into the heart of the Big Bang. But we must also continue to go into space for the future of humanity, he said. Hawking's predictions of humanity have been bleak in recent months. Facebook said that it has bought facial recognition startup Faciometrics, potentially using the technology for photo or video effects to better challenge rival Snapchat. How people share and communicate is changing, and things like masks and other effects allow people to express themselves in fun and creative ways, a Facebook spokesperson said in an email reply to an AFP inquiry. Faciometrics was founded in 2015 and specializes in using artificial intelligence to give facial image analysis capabilities to applications that run on smartphones. The technology has potential in a host of applications, including those focused on animation, measuring audience reactions, and virtual or augmented realities. Faciometrics founder and chief executive Fernando de la Torre said in a release. Google and Facebook moved to cut off advertising revenue to fake news sites after a wave of criticism over the role of misinformation played in the US presidential election. The move by the two technological giants aims to choke off funds to an industry fueled by bogus, often sensational news circulating online and seen as a potential influence on public opinion. A Google statement to AFP said new policies will start prohibiting Google ads from being placed on misrepresentative content, just as we disallow misrepresentation in our ads policies. The shift will mean Google restricts ads on pages that mispresent, misstate, or conceal information about the publisher, the publisher's content, or the primary purpose of the web property, the statement said. Samsung has announced that it will be acquiring connected digital products company Harman International Industries at about $112 per share in cash, or a total equity value of around $8 billion. The deal is expected to close in mid-2017. Upon closing, the transaction will immediately give Samsung a significant presence in the large and rapidly growing market for connected technologies, particularly automotive electronics, which has been a strategic priority for Samsung and is expected to grow to more than $100 billion by 2025, said the South Korean technological giant in an official blog post. For those unaware, Harman International is behind some of the most well-known digital brands such as JBL, Harman Kardon, AKG, Mark Levinson, Lexicon, Infinity, and Revel. It also licensed brands like Bowers and Wickens and Bang and Olufsen for automotives. Samsung has mentioned that these sub-brands and the technologies they use may make it to its own handsets and other devices in future. Login credentials for over 412 million users of adult websites run by California-based Friend Finder Networks Incorporation were compromised last month in the largest hack of 2016, according to breach notification website leakedsource.com. Compromised data includes nearly 340 million credentials for adultfriendfinder.com, which bills itself as the world's largest sex and swinger community, some 63 million records from video sex chat site camps.com, and about 7 million records from adult magazine site penthouse.com, Leaked Source said in a blog publisher earlier. Asked if the account from Leaked Source was accurate, the company provided Reuters with a statement saying it had brought in outside experts to help review the matter. Friend Finder takes the security of its customer information seriously and is in the process of notifying affected users to provide them with information and guidance on how they can protect themselves, Friend Finder said in the statement. Viewers, now the sports news. After 4 successive defeats in the 4th Bangladesh Premier League, Chittagong Vikings bounced back with a 19-run victory against Rajshahi Kings at Zaur Ahmed Chaudhry Stadium. The day's result, the Vikings collected 4 points from 6 matches, having 2 wins and 4 losses, while Rajshahi Kings remained in their previous collection of 2 points from 4 outings with 1 win and 3 defeats. Vikings got off to a flying start in the meet with a 29-run win against bottom-run Kumilla victorious in the tournament opener but then suffered a massive 9-wicket defeat against Rangpur Riders, followed by a 4-run, 7-wicket and 19-run losses against Khulna Titans, Barishal Bulls and Dhaka Dynamites respectively. Rajshahi Kings started their campaign with a 3-run defeat against Khulna Titans, returned to the winning from securing a 6-wicket victory against table topper Dhaka Dynamites before conceding a 4-run defeat to Barishal Bulls. Pep Guardiola became the latest high-profile Premier League manager to defend Wayne Rooney after the England captain apologized following the release of pictures of him socializing in the early hours while on international duty. The Manchester City manager Guardiola refused to offer any criticism of the Manchester United captain while recalling how he had sometimes had a drink himself during his international career with Spain. Guardiola's comments followed support for Rooney from Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp, who had said that he felt there had been an overreacted to the episode. Rooney had apologized after he was pictured drinking at a wedding over the weekend following England's victory over Scotland at Wembley. "I was an international player and sometimes I drank. I was lucky there were no pictures. We were people and are old enough to take responsibility, but it's private life," Guardiola told reporters. "I don't like it when people comment on my private life, so I won't comment. I have a lot of respect for the career of Wayne Rooney." Guardiola also said he was relieved that his City players had returned unsnatched from international duty and hinted he might ring the changes for next Premier League clash at Crystal Palace. Before ending, the headlines are once again. Trump names new Attorney General and CIA Director. Nikki Haley being considered for U.S. Secretary of State. Donald Trump to deport up to 3 million immigrants. Will take only $1 salary as president. Trump. Putin-Trump speak by phone, agreed to improve ties. Kremlin. Syria war, Aleppo pounded by airstrikes as pause ends. Prime Minister urges global leaders to fight climate change together. Bangladesh joins International Solar Alliance. And Chirang back in winning streak, crashing Rangpur. This is all for now from Millennium Daily Newsroom. To get any kind of news, please visit to our social website facebook.com/MillenniumTVUSA and youtube.com/MillenniumTVUSA. Besides, to get the most updated news, please log into our websites www.millenniumtv.net. Stay with Millennium. Allah Hafiz.